I had an anxiety attack the other day over someone's clutter. Hi, this is an SOS short from the SOS show with James I Jr. I'm James I Jr. And every Monday I have new episodes. I have some guests lined up. Just not happening this Monday. I like to leave the Mondays open. Therefore, these Mondays are for this show. So I put out shorts in between actual interviews. Something we're doing this year in our 10th season of the show, getting close to 500 episodes. So I want to share something with you recently because I try to be very human on here and then let you know what's going on. And I know for me, it was very tough um, to go to my mother's house, who's a hoarder, and see how things have progressed. This happened recently for me, and because I had for a long time, I always say she was my first client, so to speak, one of my first clients. I was cleaning up her house when she was married, and it was bad, wasn't as bad then. And I was helping her straighten up, and she was paying me, and it was a whole thing. Then things changed later, so I have not been doing anything with her house for like the last 5 years or so. With the onset of first her husband and her with their illnesses, and he passed away subsequently. We've had to make room for things, and it's only been occasionally. So my mom fell the other day and almost fell, and she fell on me. And I was like, okay, we got to get this. I mean, every room is cluttered, right? Which is not uncommon. It happens to a lot of people. And so it's overwhelming, right? So I usually can handle, for the most part. I think I also was tired. 'Cause also, I'm one of her caregivers. I'm very tired. I will admit all that. But this is a good example for folks who are just, when they see clutter and they see it's a large amount of stuff, how you can feel. So that's what I'm saying. I can relate to this. And it's happened to me a long time. So I was like, okay, I got to move some stuff out the way and move it to another spot at least. I'll make it pretty later. And I was going through the house to see where I could move stuff out of the living room area and put it somewhere else. And I just started walking through the rooms and just seeing there's hardly any space. There's just stuff everywhere, stuff in every room I went into. There are rooms I can't even get into because there's stuff in front of it. There's a back patio. It's big. I stepped down. I looked around and I had a panic attack. It's been a long time that happened to me. And I know that some of my clients have told me they've had panic attacks, anxiety attacks, when they see their clutter all of a sudden. They just notice, like, oh my God, it's overwhelming. And it's a real thing. I wanted to run screaming out of there and just saying, I'm done. This is it. I can't do this anymore. And I didn't cry, but I was like, it was there. And my brother was standing looking at me, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, all this shit. I said it, shit. From floor to ceiling. And first thing, there was a lot of empty boxes and bags, hoarding of plastic. I said, get this shit out of here. And so I started clearing that out. I found a way to start clearing out, but at first, I had to go through the panic attack. Couldn't breathe, wanted to cry, wanted to scream. I called my sister Zandra and my aunt Faith for assistance, for mental assistance, because I just had to get out of it. They helped me out. They helped me get out of it a little bit. But I want my clients to know, people who watch this show, listen to this show, know I understand. It's not even my stuff. And I'm overwhelmed. Some of you have parents and grandparents or siblings or kids where their houses are like my mother's. And you're thinking, oh my God, how can we ever? It's all doable and you can do it. But at first, you might have a panic attack. You might want to scream and holler. You might want to throw shit. I want to throw everything out. You don't do that. That doesn't help any. It doesn't do anything. But those are real human emotions. And that's why I wanted to share with you. Like, I had a human emotion. It had been a long time, but it really hit me. Because I have other clients here in box. They're hiring me. It's not my stuff. I'm like bound to the clients. It's their stuff. It doesn't bother me. But maybe because my mother and she's my mother. That's why I don't organize family anymore because it's too close to home. immediate family, she goes to home. So it's like this was really I'm thinking to myself also, if she died, well, she's gonna die before I am. Chances are, I gotta deal with all this shit. So you guys said that too. You're thinking, I gotta clean. I took a minute to take it all in. I'm like, wow. Now, one of the things, I'm glad I stayed in the back, and she didn't. My mother wasn't feeling well and stuff. She wasn't well, so going in there and just yelling at her and saying, "This f this shit," I'm just gonna do. I mean, it's not gonna help anything. But here's another thing too. Something you have to realize too. So, telling them how bad their situation is doesn't help either. It doesn't help either. They know how bad it is. They know how bad it is. There's already shame involved. So trying to shame them to do something, I'm not going to do anything because they're already feeling shame already. So just compounding shame on shame. So that's not going to do anything. And I think, and for them, they're already like, it's beyond their control on some level. And you have to find a way to stay calm and talk to them calmly. Sometimes it doesn't help either, I know. But for me, I noticed that if I talk to her and go, okay, girl, we need to make room so that you don't fall. You're gonna have to turn away and just not, you're just not gonna know where the stuff's gonna be moved. I try to keep the things that she immediately uses up front. Keep it out for her. And there are areas that are still cluttered that she is just screaming at me not to touch. So I ain't touch them because they're kind of off to the side, but still, it's like I was like work on concentrate on the areas that are immediate concern. That's doorways, passageways, in front of her, behind her, on one side by the door. It was like we gotta get that stuff so she can walk back and forth freely without any obstruction. And she doesn't trip over a pair of shoes on the floor. Right now we got her new mattress because we need something that's a little lower. She's right, it's a little too high for her. But her whole bed is surrounded with stuff. So we got to figure out a way. And her bed is covered with stuff. So we got to figure out. So I'm already saying we get some bins because that's another thing. You get some bins, and I'm gonna start just throwing stuff in bins. Stack the bins in the corner. Here you go, girl. At least you can go through each bin. That's one solution. What I've been doing recently is going through. She had a lot of smaller bins full of papers. I've been going through. I've gotten rid of so much stuff. Just take your time. Stack up bins in the corner. Stack them over here, and at the very least, at least it's off the floor or it's not in the way. It may not be organized yet, but you'll get there. That's something I'm very, very adamant about. Get the bins, and that will help you. Because it's too much. Kids, it's too much. It's just so much stuff. But my concern is her safety. That's for anybody out there because you can hurt yourself, crazy. And I don't want that for her. I don't want her to fall and hurt herself. She fell on me and I got hurt because she fell on me. So now it's affecting me. But I know my first instinct is to want to scream and holler at her and to say, what? But that's not going to do anything. You have to go outside, take 5-10 minutes, whatever, pull yourself together, and then try to come in with a plan. It's an immediate plan. Just do that. Life will go on. And then you can work on something else. And always try to have some grace and compassion there somewhere. They got that way, not overnight. Or they didn't get there, she get there overnight. She knows she's a quarter. And they clutter her. She knows that. And so there are times she'll say something to me. I just ignore it. Now, I just get upset at everything she said. But I have training, so now I'm just like, you can say it if you want to, that's fine, it doesn't matter. And I think and we're dealing with another issue right now where she was hiding things and she can't always find them. And I'm like, you live in the house by yourself. She lives by herself, her and a dog. So we can't find it. It's you. Did you touch it? Did you move it? There are times when I'd find stuff and she would swear it's in this one spot. And I've done it to myself where I go, it's just one spot. I go, so let me just check over here. Why are you looking over there, James? I know I'm like, let me just look over there. And I look over there, I find it. I know for me, I usually have my keys. I have a key holder. One day I couldn't find my keys in the key holder. I'm like, I always put the keys in here. Well, I found them somewhere else. But where I found them, like, it started to come back to me. That's right. I put them here, meaning to put them in the key holder. And I just did it. There's something else happened. There's something else happened. There's something else happened. And that was it. So I get it. 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 And it's tough. You always remember everything. So I think, so it's every day I got to deal with this, and it's not easy. And I'm at the point where I'm busy with my own life and with things that I'm going off for me, and I'm all stuff that I don't even have I'm getting older myself, and I'm like, do I even have the energy for this? And some days I don't. I wish I could just wake up, be Energizer Bunny, and just go, okay, we're gonna do this, blah, blah, and I just don't. And I said, I know she feels bad on some level, and that's what everybody does in that situation. So you have to have some compassion there somewhere, but you have to stick to the facts and talk to them factually. Like this is the deal. This is what's going on. But yes, I had anxiety attack, kids. I did. It was not cute, but I survived it. Thanks to Aunt Faith and Sister Zandra, I am doing better. But if you want some techniques or things you can do to kind of when you see something that's overwhelming, I am for hire. Because I said I've been through it, so I can talk about it really easily. And I also have some training. A lot of help.com, so certified life coach and professional organizer. You can find me there. And this show, of course, is on YouTube and on every streaming service platform. The Super Organizer Show with James Lott Jr. Next Monday, we'll see you again. Be kind to yourself. Have compassion for others. I'll see you next time.